One of the biggest headaches for US expats and digital nomads living abroad has got to be banking. Now, when you're living back home in the States, you just take things like banking totally for granted. Opening a bank account, withdrawing money, it's totally mundane. You don't even think about it. But when you're overseas, it's not so simple. There are some really important regulations that can land expats in some hot water. Plus, getting your money out can incur a lot of fees if you're not careful. So today we're going to break down the best US banks for expats going into the year 2026 and how you can comply with US rules. Let's dive in. When it comes to banking, expats are always running into the same issues. You have high ATM fees that eat into your budget, account freezes when the bank detects suspicious foreign activity, and maybe the most frustrating of all, a US address requirement. Fortunately, all three of these problems are fixable, and we're going to tell you exactly how to do it. First, you need a bank with global ATM access and low or zero fees. Ideally, we're talking about banks that will actually reimburse your ATM fees. For a lot of expats, a multi-currency account is also a very helpful tool. If you earn in euros, spend in pesos, and save in dollars, a multi-currency account saves you from bleeding your budget through those conversion fees. 24/7 customer support is also a big one. If it's 2 p.m. in Thailand and something happens with your bank account, but it's 2 a.m. in the US, and you're going to want someone who can help you out with that right away. Now here at Savvy Nomad, we did the research to find banks that cater to expat needs. Here are some great options for you to consider. Number one on our list is Charles Schwab Bank. Now this one does come up a lot in digital nomad and expat communities, but a lot of people still don't know about it. The real benefit here is this debit card, and the benefits are absolutely incredible. Schwab accounts have no monthly maintenance fees, no foreign transaction fees, and the best part is that they offer unlimited ATM fee reimbursements worldwide. That means you pay absolutely nothing to withdraw cash, which is huge. Plus, their customer service has a great reputation. You can always get someone on the phone if you have problems. That's why Schwab is kind of a total no-brainer if you're living a global lifestyle and you are a US resident. But here's the catch. If you change your address to an international address, Schwab often converts your account to a Schwab International account, which changes how things work. You will need to provide additional documentation like a passport and proof of residence, and Schwab doesn't support every country, so in the end, you may end up losing access. Again, not having a US residential address is a big sticking point here, and we'll get more into how you can permanently solve that problem later on in the video, so stick around. Another great banking option is Citibank. They have one of the largest international networks among US banks, plus multi-currency features and strong international transfer options. Transferring between Citi accounts across borders is easy. It's usually free too. Great if you've got family or business ties back home. But make sure you double check those fees. They can vary depending on your account type. Now, another big name in Fintech for expats and nomads is Wise. While Wise is technically not a bank, it is useful in some other really important ways. Wise accounts allow you to hold dozens of currencies and send money abroad at real exchange rates without hidden markups. Again, we want to emphasize that Wise is not a replacement for a traditional US checking account, but it does offer some useful tools. Another useful fintech option along the same lines is Revolut. They also offer real-time currency exchange and instant transfers. The only downside is that customer support can be pretty hit or miss. So again, not a substitute for a traditional bank, but a good supplement. Now, speaking of traditional banks, one thing you need to keep in mind is that they are going to require that you provide a real residential address in the US. This is due to Know Your Customer and anti-money laundering rules that were implemented under the US Patriot Act. Now, in the past, those rules weren't enforced as strictly, but today in 2025, going into 2026, the crackdown has gotten pretty severe. Using mail forwarding services like iPostal or Anytime Mailbox as your primary address is probably going to get your account flagged at some point down the road, if not immediately when you open it. So what are you going to do? Option A is to simply use a trusted friend or family member's residential address. A lot of people do it, and oftentimes it does work, but if the address on your ID doesn't match what you give the bank, then they're going to ask for proof of address like a lease or utility bill. Just something to keep in mind if you do go that route. Option B is to use a virtual mailbox. Now, if you go on the internet, you'll find stories of people who claim that they open bank accounts using virtual addresses, but most of these providers, they're flagged as commercial mail receiving agencies, and that is not at all acceptable for banks. Again, even if it does work initially, you run the risk of getting caught, which is happening more and more with new AI detection tools. Now, option C is yours truly, the team here at Savvy Nomad. We can provide you with a real residential address in Florida at an affordable monthly rate. And that also has the advantage of being very tax friendly, so you can really save on state income taxes, and you can use our addresses for banking, voting, and other legal and financial purposes. So if you're interested in a long-term, permanent solution to the banking address problem, make sure to check out the link in the video description and use the code YouTube for a special discount. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We're always putting out new content for digital nomads and expats. And make sure to sign up for our weekly newsletter, Americans Abroad. Until next time, safe travels and happy tax planning.